A beautiful location, great morning light, and a dove gray Porsche 356 Outlaw. Pretty good toolkit for Michael Allen Ross to use as we do a photo shoot today. I'm here to look over his shoulder for you to find out what technology he uses, and more importantly, what tips and tricks we can use in the snapshots of cars we take.
The back end of this car is so unique with the louvers on it.
Yeah.
And I just love the way those little simple red lights look right now. So what I'll do now is I'll do some full shots of the rear of the car, do it in 2 different angles, and then what I'll do is I'll put the long lens on and I'll actually go in and compress all these little images around from the headlights to the tail lamps to the,
those are your
to
detail
the wheels,
shots.
all my little detail stuff, get that out of the way. The interior is absolutely stunning.
So Michael, what are you doing now? What's this current kind of shooting at this hour?
You know, in my line of business, you're always dealing with the light, so you have to work when the light is right. And that light is either right first thing in the morning or at the end of the day.
Most people think about a long lens for when they can't get to the subject. You can get right to that car, but you're using a long lens. What's going on here?
Yeah, the reason I'm doing it is that I'm compressing the car a little bit, compressing the image. It'll really bring the focus in on the car and eliminate everything else. It'll really make that car pop out because everything else becomes soft and everything else becomes not that important. An automobile is reflective. I wear dark clothing all the time.
You told us as we were coming out here, no white sneakers, no light clothes.
Please,
I never thought of that.
Everyone goes to like a car event, you know, they're taking pictures of cars. How many times are you trying to get rid of that white sneaker you wore, or the guy next to you wore, or those khaki shorts?
It's right there in the door, right?
Yeah, the car, you have to realize you're shooting a big mirror.
Why so many shots?
It gives the art director a little bit of variation, gives them a much broader scope. I kind of do it the old way. I like to see all the images in small thumbnails on the screen, no matter what, whether it's digital or film. That is still the same. If it looks good this big, imagine what it's going to look like when it's big. So I'm going to switch to the 70-200 2.8 image stabilization lens so that I can utilize this light that we have right now. So I'm going to pop this one off. First thing I'm going to do. I hate dust, so I try to keep my lens down, even though there's you know, sensor cleaners here and here and all that. I still do it the old way, where we make sure that the body is open as little as possible.
You're using flash now for the first time today. What are the tricks to make it look good?
Less is more. Direct it in another direction, use it bounced off of something else. If I had a white card here, and bounce the light away from the car into the white, and then have that fill the whole thing evenly. You know, most people would put the flash in here, but with this, I take it up, not only take it up, but I angle it. If it's too much, I just swing it the other way. What do guys do all the time? What does any car person do? You know, oh, let me look under the hood. How do you make this sexy? That's the thing. Everything's so precision-like in there, and I want to bring that out a little bit and show you how beautifully simple it really is. I'll do everything nice and crisp, and then I will go in and do some shallow depth of field things.
Works better against the red, I think. You look for the right car, and you look for the right photographer and the right eye. There's all those sorts of things. That's all the technical, and then there's just a feeling. And some of that is captured in the moment with good equipment and a good eye, but also a lot of it's now captured after the fact in post-production. Michael is one of the few who applies treatments that work for me.
It's basically like a chef in their gravy, you know.
So you'll show us a few of these steps, but there'll be a few ingredients you leave out.
Of course. Of course. I can't give you everything, Brian. You know, it's.
If I say typically, what do you do to most shots?
The greatest hits for me in terms of touch-up, I usually crop in the camera as much as I possibly can, but a lot of times there are little things that you miss. It's always better to have more and to be able to come in than to be too tight and to miss something. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in and I'm going to crop this little piece out that I don't like.
There's our crop.
There's our crop. I don't like things that are centered. Your eye has to start somewhere and it has to go on a journey. If you start in the middle, where do you go? Let the mind take a little journey and then come back and rest. We're so used to high-def television and everything's really popping right now. Yeah. So a lot of times I'll take an image, pump up the blacks a little bit. By pumping up the blacks, we're actually making those other colorful pieces pop out even more.
It's a contrast thing.
Exactly. All these little details around the window, that's going to get a little bit darker. All of a sudden that blue starts to come out a little bit more. Another look that's really popular right now, if it's kind of, car's got a little bit of an edge to it, bleach it out, make it really a little bit different. Now I've got an attitude there. I've lost the blue line here. I've lost the color, but I've got a real kind of interesting little effect. It's really about the mood.
I've seen you take some shots and kind of just around the perimeter, on the very edges, kind of bring a little bit of a shadow, a little vignette look.
A little vignette. You don't want to go too far where you notice what I did.
Yeah.
I never want to do anything that makes it look like, oh, the photographer did this.
Yeah.
I want you to look at the photograph and go, wow, that's cool, and not notice any of that. That's the key to it, not go too far.
Now, you may not be a pro shooter, but with a few tips from guys like Michael Ross, you can shoot cars like this pretty damn well. And the nice thing about vehicles is that they're the best piece of moving tech we encounter every day.